Welcome back to the Kermode Uncut Film Club, and this, the second in our hopefully ongoing series of film intros. As before, you can watch this intro here on the Uncut blog, or you can download it from Vimeo, and then hopefully watch the film, which you should have tracked down by now. I gave you the title a few weeks ago. Then when you've watched the intro and the film, let me know what you thought about it by responding here on the Uncut blog. If you're watching this on YouTube, great, but if you want your comments responded to, post them at bbc.co.uk/Mark Kermode. Meanwhile, sit back and enjoy the much maligned but frankly marvellous Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. To understand what's so brilliant about Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, you first have to understand just how much some people hated it when it first came out. This was a film that critics didn't just dislike, they actively tried to kill it. According to one critic, in a town like Twin Peaks, nothing is what it seems. This isn't the worst movie ever made, it just seems like it. Years later, talking to composer Angelo Badalamenti about the hideous response which had greeted Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, he said, "It was terrible. To David, his films are like his family, and it was as if people were somehow attacking his child." Looking back on Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me from 20 years distance, that hostility which initially greeted it is all the more baffling because on a simply technical level, the film is really well made. It looks fabulous, it has a crisp, clear visual sense. Like all of Lynch's best work, it easily straddles the divide between the suburban and the surreal. It has an extraordinary ensemble cast and at the centre of it, an absolutely fantastic performance by Cheryl Lee, a performance of operatic intensity. Frankly, I don't care who else was nominated for Oscars that year. The fact that she was overlooked because no one liked the movie she was in is shameful. And then, of course, we have Angelo Badalamenti's score. For my money, the best work Badalamenti has ever done. Recently, when we did a programme with Radio 5 Live in which we got the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra to play themes from movies that we loved, the highlight for me was hearing them do an orchestrated version of Badalamenti's theme from Fire Walk with Me. It is an extraordinary piece of work in an extraordinary film. So why did everyone hate it? The answer, I think, lies ironically in that title, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, and the question of the film's relationship, or lack of it, with the television show. By the time the feature film was made, the TV show had run its course, and many people had frankly had enough of it. There was a sense that it had run out of steam, that it had lost its way, that it was just running on empty. It's significant, therefore, that the film itself opens with an image of a TV screen being smashed. As far as I'm concerned, that's an indication that we're in a whole other world. Yes, certain characters and certain thread lines and certain plot lines do not match up with the TV show. But you know what? It doesn't matter because the film stands alone. Those who were fans of the TV show were bothered about the things that didn't match. Those who were fed up with the TV show were bothered that they were seeing characters that they were already fed up with. The only people who really understood Fire Walk with Me are the people who saw it for what it was. The best horror film of the year. Writer Robert Engels has said of the screenplay which he and David Lynch co-wrote for Fire Walk with Me that it was originally twice as long as the movie itself and contained loads of subplots and diversions that never made it to the screen in the finished film. Well, I've seen a version of that screenplay, and certainly there are some things in there that didn't make it into the final film and offer some form of explanation. There are also loads of moments in the film which seem to suggest alternative universes. The sudden appearance, for example, of David Bowie's character, which has come in for much flack. People saying, what on earth is that doing there? Well, clearly it was put there to allow the plot to go elsewhere should sequels follow. Of course, the film was so badly received, that was the end of it. But frankly, what we do have completely coherently in Fire Walk with Me is an account of the last days of Laura Palmer that needs no excuses, needs no explanation, needs not to be tied back to anything else other than itself. Yes, you can spend hours and hours trying to match up the ends of the Twin Peaks universe, but much better to just lose yourself in the world of Laura Palmer. As with all of David Lynch's movies, it pays to pay close attention, to look for the detail, perhaps to watch the film again and again to see just how rich and deep it really is. But in the case of Fire Walk with Me, this can be a distraction. My advice is to just watch it for what it is, an extraordinary, spine-tingling, heartbreaking depiction of somebody's life falling apart, of the divide between this world and the next being nothing but paper thin. It's a brilliantly made movie with fantastic performances, quirks and mistakes, yes, but none of that matters because of the extraordinary soundscape, because of the wonderful score, and because of that operatically brilliant central performance by Cheryl Lee. It's one of those films that doesn't only deserve reappraisal, it deserves to be sung from the rooftops. It is one of the greatest horror movies of modern times. People just weren't looking for that. They just wanted a Twin Peaks film. So there we have it. Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, misunderstood masterpiece or just plain mess. Watch the film and let me know what you think by posting your comments at bbc.co.uk/Mark Kermode.